Good evening and welcome to the FE Bar. I've not got Pico on the right thing. There we go, Pico. I'm your host, Jack Jordan Maynard, and joining me as always is Mr. Jack Pickering. Costa made it back-to-back wins after his win in Madrid, but as Jaguars 1-2 was a bit overshadowed by Mitch Evans' epic radio rant after the Jaguar used team orders. Were Jaguar right though? And we'll also cover Opal joining the series as DS leaves, but we can't do this show without you, so make sure you get involved, join our Discord, and have your say on the only show where you, the Formula E fan, can have their say. Pico, how are we?
Yeah, I'm good. I hope you enjoyed your little trip to Spain.
I did.
I'm sure it was lovely and warm as we all expected it to be. You thought you were going to Spain. Lovely weather, lovely, glorious weather, and How was that Saturday morning?
It was wet. It was cold. The Sunday was worse. Saturday was fine. It was just wet, and Friday was wet too. We started dry Friday, but it just got wet, and Sunday was bitterly cold in the morning. Bitterly cold, freezing. But yeah, it got really warm towards the end, right? So I was quite hot, to be honest with you.
Understandable. I mean, it looked like on Sunday what we did see. It did look like a nice, lovely day, ready for you to fly back to the UK. But yeah, no, honestly, from a distance, it looked like a terrific weekend. I mean, and for those who watched the for those who watched the lives with me and JB, like, you will have seen that, like, I said a lot about how the crowds looked there, because it just looked like that. I mean, that's the dream for Formula E, to have that many people at an event. I mean, I don't think I've seen that anything like that in years. I'm not sure if you have.
No, it was really good. Like, honestly, because I think Monaco's also up there, right, for an event. Okay, so, because the grandstand's always quite packed at Monaco, but it was really nice from Madrid, and the people screaming when Pepe Marti goes by and so forth. That was quite nice, right? And they seem to be just screaming for any driver at some point. But it was definitely when Pepe Marti was going around, it was one of the loudest. So that was good. I love Madrid. I think I've fallen in love with it. I'm going to be honest. I think I've fallen in love with it because all I've done since come back is look back at the track, look back at the pictures. I was on the plane, right? So I was flying on A350, so I had a decent map, right, on the TVs that you've got, right, on the planes. They had a TV, had the F1 movie on it as well, so I managed to watch the F1 movie on there again. But I was looking at the map, and you could see, like, I just left it on the picture of the track. Like, it wasn't even, like, for London, it was incredible. I could, like zoom in to, like, street level, and I thought, oh, can I do that for Madrid? No, I couldn't do that for Madrid, but I could do it for London. But because then I was like, can I zoom? I couldn't zoom in any further, but it was, like, so small, the track, and I was, like, just looking at it on the map, like, yeah, I think I fell in love with the place. Honestly, I walked the track twice. I think I just love racetracks. I think, as any motorsport fan does, I think you just love racetracks. I think we all do. So...
Some racetracks. I mean, if I'm brutally honest, if you spend too long at one specific racetrack, the novelty wears off.
Yeah.
No clues for which circuit I'm on about.
I don't know.
You should be able to work it out.
Yeah, I know, but like, I still think. But that's the beauty, right, of going to racetracks. And like, I'm already thinking about next year, and part of me, I'll tell you now, part of me is gutted, right? I have to wait a whole year, and right, I hope this isn't true, right? So if some of you've seen the Sam Smith and the FE Notebook put a tweet out saying that potentially this race could be in July next year. I was like, please don't put it in July, it's going to be boiling. But two, I was like, I don't want to wait till next July to go back. I don't want to wait that long. Like, I go back tomorrow to the circuit and watch a race there. Like, I really enjoyed it. So I honestly, if you haven't gone, I know a lot of you made the trip, and if you did make the trip and you are in chat, come on, because we want to talk about your just general experience. And I know a lot of our core fans, I would call us, you know, the likes of Saz, Chris, Luty. I know that you dare, and if you are in, and if you I know some of you might still be in Madrid, but if you can, come on, and because they had a hell of an experience, and I'm really proud that they had that experience and they were treated the way they are, because they're proper Formula E fans, them lot. And you know, they're not just up, you know, and I love that they're part of this community, but you know, they had a great time. And if someone wants to come on up and let them tell the story of the amazing time that they had at the circuit, I would love that, because yeah, it would be amazing. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Chris has just said, please not July, he'd melt. Which,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think we all would. Yeah. But, you know, 35 degrees in Madrid. It was cold, but then it was got to a nice temperature during the day. Like, that was a bearable temperature, 18 to 22 degrees, I think, bearable. And a nice blue skies if we're lucky.
18-22 is like my ideal range in terms of, and not just for the ladies. No, I'm joking. There we go. We started big tonight, ladies and gentlemen. No.
That's terrible.
Oh, that's going to be clipped. Oh, that is honestly dreadful. But no, in terms of temperature, that is my ideal, because it's not too hot. Once you get beyond like 24, then like it's just straight up. It's too hot. It's too hot.
I did Miami in like 28, 29. I reckon I could bear that. Like, it was hot, but you had to wear your shorts. You had to be shorts and t-shirt. You couldn't, you know, like me, right?
Yeah.
Like wearing a blazer. Like, a blazer is out of the question. You've got to find some nice clothes in shorts and t-shirts. But I want to talk about the race. Let's move on, because we're chatting for a while. Honestly, Antonio Félix Costa, right? We're going to start there, because there's a lot to digest from the Jaguar, and we really want Mitch Evans fans. So if you're a Mitch Evans fan, we really want you to come on and have your say, because I think a lot of interesting stories have come out over the weekend surrounding him. But let's start with Da Costa. Back-to-back wins, obviously winning in Jeddah, then winning in Madrid. He said Dak is back, right? And I know I questioned him upon that, right?
I know this. I've edited it. I've watched it about 50 times.
Right. He said Dak is back, and I'm like, I know but you've been good. Like, since he's come to Jaguar, he wasn't even bad at Porsche, to be honest with you. But like, he's come in, he's already won a race. But I just think that message was more to say that he's back to being him at a racetrack and being at a team. And it was really funny, because I was talking to there was a load of wild celebrations. So I followed him. If you haven't watched the video, I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't watched the video on the YouTube channel, like, it's outside the garage rather than in the media pen, and I had to watch as everybody hugged and celebrated. Even Rubens Barrichello, got to meet Rubens Barrichello while waiting for him there, which was cool. And so he's obviously celebrated with Rubens and the team, and there was a team member behind me that said, it's more of a fun team. Like, this is a team that, it's a bit more fun than the corporate nature that is Porsche, right? So, and I think Da Costa is, reveling, I think is the right word, in that environment, and now he's got back-to-back wins, and we saw what he did at Porsche when, he got a run on, ends up winning, a good couple of races in a row. I think this is huge for Da Costa, and a little bit of his championship like push, So in terms of like Da Costa, like what did you make of it? I think for him it's huge.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I'm not sure if it's still the case, but definitely when I was more present in the paddock around season 8, season 9, there was a whole thing of like Porsche police, in terms of like they were very kind of like, you have to do everything by the letter of the law, and you can't, and it was very kind of difficult, at least from a media standpoint. But yeah, and so going from that to Jaguar, it was still, let's be real, like there are no silly outfits out there. They're all very serious, but But yeah, I think it's definitely a different environment, and and when you move from one team to another, and it's manufacturer to manufacturer, there is a huge shift in terms of how things work, uh, and everything. And so to get his feet under the table so quickly,
Yep.
and have these two back-to-back wins, and Jaguar have won 3 of the last 4 now, which is incredible considering this time last year we were here going, oh, they might be the worst manufacturer on the grid at the moment,
Yeah.
Barlola.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the resurgence has been brilliant so far, and uh, Costa is a damn good driver,
Oh, of course.
and you write him off at your peril, even though he's at a new team. He had all the fallout from Porsche and everything like that. It'd take him a while to get under the feet under the table. He's got Mitch Evans as a teammate. It's it's interesting, and so yeah, the fact that he's gone into that team, he's happy. He's won now twice. I mean, you do not count him out for anything.
No, no, you wouldn't at all. Um, but I think the biggest story of this weekend has to be Mitch Evans, because that radio rant. I think the guy came from 16th on the grid, right? He's had an amazing race, and he thinks he should have won it. And Jaguar have put a team order in, right? They've put the team order in, maintain position. We're 1-2. That's it. Game over. And he's not happy about that. First thing I want to ask you: team order, right thing or the wrong thing that Jaguar have done, in your opinion?
I understand the logic of team orders. I've always been against team orders. I don't like them in Formula One. Obviously, you go back to the Ferrari days, and Rubens and Michael were told to switch in Austria, and then Felipe and Fernando in Germany in 2010, and then it got re-allowed, and you see it a lot more in Formula One these days. There was the Multi 21 with Vettel and Webber, and actually in that same race, because it was overshadowed by Multi 21, there was another team order that day between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, and Rosberg was told to stay behind Lewis, which he did. And so I understand the logic of team orders when you're fighting for championships, and you are sitting there 1 and 2. It's absolutely logical to say, look, we don't want to jeopardize this, but Formula E is a very different kettle of fish to any other motor racing series in the world. And in doing so, we got this pack of 4 at the front, which involved the 2 Jaguars and Tictum and Wehrlein. And so, look, I understand why the call went out, but Mitch very rightly said, look, if I don't try and attack Antonio, I'm going to be attacked by Dan. Yeah. And I completely understand that. And there was still a chance going into the final corner where Dan was going down the inside and as a Hail Mary to try and get second. Unfortunately, it meant instead of getting second, he lost third and finished 4th instead. But yeah, that's just how racing is. And so I understand Mitch's frustration, but occasionally I'm trying to word this properly in my head without like.
I think that was the right thing to do. Yeah. I would have done exactly the same if I was Ian James. I get that. You know, Mitch is not going to be happy about it. He could have, but you've the Costa's led this race for a long time. You've been on different strategies, and you've got into a position where you want to, right? And you've got a couple of laps to go. And yeah, the problem is they take each other out. Evans makes a move, and that 1-2's gone, right? And it's the most sensible thing to do, I think, as a team principal, was to call it off and just say, look, I'm sorry, mate. You know, qualify better. You know, you wouldn't say that as the team principal, but effectively that's what it is, right? If you were in a good position to start with, then maybe, you know, you wouldn't have had to fight through the field the way that you did. But you've done an incredible job, and yeah, so I think it's a tough one to take. But he's obviously throwing times when with Nick Cassidy as well, and so forth. And from listening to the conversations and listening to the radio, I honestly think that was the first sign. Like when we got him in Gen 4, you could argue the first sign was him not being anywhere near the Gen 4 information. And but that could have changed just in case he got a contract and all of a sudden he's got all the information, he's testing the car. However, that hasn't happened. So that you could argue that's the first sign, but this I think was the first real sign to say he's racing for himself, right, rather than the team. I'm not saying that he doesn't care about the team. I don't think that's true at all. But what I mean is that was like the first, no, this is me moment. I'm trying to prove to whoever I want to move to next season that I'm a race winner and I'm the person that's gonna win said championship. So to me, right, I felt like the team did the right thing, but I think this is the beginning of the end. Mitch Evans has been part of Jaguar for so long. I think that showed me I don't think he's a Jaguar driver, and then this has opened a can of worms because of the announcement of Opel joining the championship. So obviously on the same weekend, Opel have decided to join the series for Gen 4, and now people are starting to think, actually, I wonder if Mitch Evans could be in a new factory team, starting again from scratch in a sense, but with Opel.
It's definitely a possibility. Obviously, this is what's come out of this weekend. There's been rumours for about half a year about him going to Nissan to replace Norman Nato at the end of the season, because it kind of makes sense. Why would you re-sign Nato after such a poor year on a 1-year deal? So if you've got a bigger fish for the next year, so it again, the Nissan thing makes sense as well. But the Opel thing is huge, and I think if someone like Mitch were to go over there, that'd be massive. And yes, they would like a German driver with hefty experience, but of the ones that are on the card at the moment, you got Wehrlein, who I don't think's going to leave Porsche anytime soon. Gunter's got a long-term contract with Penske, not Stellantis, and that's where the whole thing about Jeb having to move over to Citroen happened, because Penske had signed both Gunter and Barnard, and so that's why Jev had to move to Citroen, because he had a Stellantis contract, and that created the whole stuff with Van Dorn also having a contract.
On that very quickly, Van Dorn. We were having a discussion about this because obviously he's the reserve driver. Right, we were having a discussion, and then this discussion came up again in Madrid.
Yeah,
they're saying, well, he hasn't become a reserve driver for no reason. He's become a reserve driver thinking that he will be in the Gen 4 seat come Gen 4, and obviously Mitch Evans doesn't know, but I'm sure Stoffel Van Dorn knows what's going on. So do you think, and obviously he's worked with Ian James, so all of a sudden it does feel like the eyes, the dots of the I's are getting, and the crosses of the T's are getting all aligned with a potential maybe the Costa and Van Dorn relationship going into Gen 4 at Jaguar.
Yeah, I mean it genuinely makes sense, and I remember having this discussion in Valencia as well at the start of the season. Why is Van Dorn gone to Jaguar to do all the Gen 4 testing? It only makes sense that there is a seat available, and that's when the whole thing is like, oh, is Mitch on the move? Started to
surface.
Started to surface, and I think everything that's happened this weekend has kind of rehash that, and like when you pick a scab, it just suddenly blood comes rushing through. But yeah, and so it makes complete sense. And Mitch Evans, I think this weekend has kind of made everyone kind of sit up and go, he's not driving for Jag next season. And look, we could be completely wrong. We've been wrong before, we will be wrong again. But when you take a step back and you look at everything that's kind of happening at the moment, everything sort of kind of looks in this line. I mean, like, we could be looking at it from the wrong way or whatever. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I'm reading it at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Right, I think we're ready to take some calls. BDS, I know you were in the chat. If you're still in there, you were going to call. I was actually going to bring you in first, and someone else has just dropped out. But if you want to drop back in, but again, we cannot do this show without you. So !Discord in chat if you would like to come on the show and have your say. We got plenty and plenty and plenty to talk about from the weekend. So with that in mind. This person is normally one of the last people I put on, but I'm going to put him on first today because his man won. It's Ricardo. Ricardo, hello. You are on the FE bar. And wow, your man, Antonio Félix da Costa, back to back. What an absolute weekend you've had.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, it was the race that I couldn't watch because I had a lunch with some friends. But still, I checked the live timing, and to my surprise, actually, I saw Antonio winning, and actually Mitch finishing second. Although I know there were some radio fireworks from Evans. Surprise, surprise. Uh, but still, yeah, it was good. We saw a good and controlled race from Antonio, I think, from start to finish, and yeah, as he would probably say, DAC to DAC, isn't it?
Yeah, as I said, I remember him saying, that he's back, right? But he's performing really well, and he looks like himself. He's always looked like himself, especially now that his hair's grown back. But but I honestly think he's at the right team now, and yeah, he's in that position now where I'm thinking about that 4 wins in a row that he had. Once he started winning in Misano for Porsche and he got those 4 wins back to back. Like, I'm not saying that he's going to do that again. It's incredibly hard, but he feels like he's got the momentum. The momentum's with him, and when the momentum is with Da Costa, like, things can happen, and he'll bring himself back into this championship fight.
Yeah, and as he said, these moments don't come often, and we saw it time and time again. We saw it in season 6. We saw it, as you said, in season 10 with Porsche, although it wasn't in a championship fight. But still, coming up to London, he put himself in that remote position. But yeah, this championship is very long. Although the package itself from Jaguar is much more improved than it was at this point last season, and especially we are seeing an aspect of Antonio that it's crucial, that improved so much, or maybe is that the car is more suited to qualifying for Antonio than the Porsche was, because we saw more often than not Antonio failing to qualify well for Porsche. Although last season was a bit better, we saw, maybe if we saw Antonio in the duels like 5 to 6 races in a season, it would be really good for him. And now we are seeing that Antonio is qualifying well every race. I mean, his starting position. I think it's either 9th or 10 in Mexico. Otherwise, Antonio has made the duels all all weekends, and basically, I think it's now his third um, his third um, semi-final
Yeah.
appearance, and a top 3 in qualifying. And it's those moments that we see Antonio improving time and time again, and could be a major factor at the end of the season. But yeah, we are still in round 6. There's still some races to go, but this is panning out good for both Antonio, Mitch, and Jaguar for themselves.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard to get 1-2s, and especially in a crazy race like what we saw in Madrid. I think maybe like his experience came into account, because I think like it was always going to be a tough race because of the way the track layout was. Do you think it was maybe part of his experience, knowing maybe, and obviously the team as well, because obviously we had a bit of pack racing, but then the pit boosters did a really good job of breaking that up and giving us a different style of race, but being to manage a pack race to a pit boost, not on that type of track, I think was, it wasn't going to be the likes of a Barnard potentially winning it or a rookie. I would say it had to come from, I would assume, a more experienced head.
Yeah, and we know Antonio actually excels in these type of races, and when we see Antonio not falling back too much, like at one point, I think I saw the live timing and I saw him like seventh or sixth. I was a bit worried, but still, it's those positions that Antonio likes to be, not in the midfield chaos, but a few positions back, so he can save more energy to then at the end to attack. And when you have pit boost, you can attack a bit earlier. And in that regard, I think both him and Jaguar did a really good job. They put themselves in the best position come the end of the race, and yeah, we saw some tense moments as I said in the beginning, but still, they win as a team, they lose as a team, and yeah, Mitch might feel a bit hampered by that decision, but in the end, it was still good points for him in the championship. They are looking really good in every type of race. Actually, we saw some good pace from both Antonio and Mitch this season, and they are from what maybe Miami until Madrid. I think they, in my head, they are the best scoring team with the best scoring driver. So yeah, I think Jaguar, apart from the first two races, they are coming really good, and they are being the standout team of this the first part of the season for me actually.
Yeah, Pico, anything that you'd like to ask?
Yeah, I think with when you look at Da Costa and the way that he's kind of like stepped into Jaguar, right? Were you expecting it to be this kind of quick to see this kind of performance out of him? That he's got everything kind of there, ready, kind of to go. And I mean, is it too early to talk about him being a championship contender?
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't expecting Antonio to be this quick and this good so early in the season. Because he was up against Mitch. Yeah, he had a not so good season last year, but still he is in that team for 10 years now, basically. And um, and yeah, for Antonio to arrive at Jaguar and to be up to pace this this quickly, and to be up to par to Mitch, or even better than him, it's really surprising for me. And yeah, we saw that Mitch, when he gets this kind of momentum, much like Antonio, he gets on the groove. There is the odd mistake or sometimes a bad decision both from him or the team, but I think with Antonio, with a person, not a driver, but a person that he likes, and they get along really well. Although we saw a funny thing, I think in the team raiders, that when Mitch was complaining about the team's decision not to swap them around, Mitch came up and said, "You're lucky that I like Antonio." So yeah, maybe what's preventing Mitch from doing this crazy stuff that maybe in the past with basically Sam Bird, let's just say, if it was Sam Bird in that position and not Antonio, I think that there could be shambles, and to this day we could have seen like Pascal Wehrlein winning the final corner of this race, but that's a parallel. But this to say that although Jaguar need to still figure out their team's decision and whatnot, I think this is coming up really well for the whole system, for the whole Jaguar structure. And like I said, I don't know if it was in Jeddah or in Miami. Hats off to Ian James. He basically arrives at that team. James Buckley built it, and Ian James is continuing that legacy.
Yeah.
And yeah, props to the old Jaguar and especially to Ian James. They are fantastic.
No, yeah, no, I'm sure of that as well. I think Ian James is a good team principal, right? And he's a very intelligent man. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that he has gone in and used his experience. And he has to remember he's won championships. You right there, Pico?
Yeah, no, sorry, I lost my the lid of my pen.
I was gonna say like you just.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's all right. It's fine. It's just,
Sorry, took that a shot. Yeah.
I just saw you just looking down. I was like, "What have you lost there, mate?"
Yeah. It comes off really easily now,
Yeah.
so I play with it. You may see that I play it every time I'm in this room. I just play with the pen. Just play with the pen.
You've got to have
In
something,
case I
you've got
just
something to
launch it off.
something to
Fiddly hands,
to
fiddly
play around
hands.
with. Lovely stuff. Ricardo, we'll
Sorry.
we'll-
Sorry, I'm having a mare
No,
tonight.
you're
aren't
not.
I?
You're not. It's actually fine. It's brilliant. It's absolutely class. Ricardo, we'll leave it there. But thank you for coming on.
For sure.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Right.
See you guys.
See you in a bit.
Have a good one.
And you have a lovely night. Yeah, it was a good win. Good win for Costa. I'm going to bring Natalie in because Natalie wants to talk about the other side of the garage, with Mitch Evans. So, Natalie, how are we?
I'm good. Apologies if my voice sounds a bit croaky.
No,
I
you
was
sound fine. You sound great.
I was in Birmingham last night watching some improvised comedy. So
you were laughing too much, basically.
basically, yeah. For those who don't know, I follow a improv comedy group called Shoot from the Hip, and they were in Birmingham last night. So
My brother
yeah,
was in Birmingham last night, but see gorillas instead.
How do you see gorillas? I mean, like
right.
because come on,
Yeah.
because they were
Fair
like
point.
they were a thingy band, weren't they? They were all like animated and so forth. So I never really thought about how.
Hang on, I'll have a look on my brother's Instagram.
Of how the gorillas would
'cause he
actually
posted
perform live. Like that would be an interesting one. Like I've always thought of that.
The thing is, I mean, it looks quite kind of far away. Okay, it's gone off on the story. Yeah, I mean, all I can see from this photo is basically a long range shot of the stage.
But is there anyone?
So,
was there anyone down there?
I have no idea. Do you know what? I will find out, and we will have an answer by the end of the show.
All right, we'll
okay?
find
Yeah.
out because
Right.
yeah, just impressive. If anyone in chat's been to a Gorillaz concert, you all feel free to also tell us. But yeah, you wanted to talk Mitch Evans, right? And you said you had a lot to say about it. So we'll let you have your say on it.
Mum and I were talking the other day, and we were like, I was just sat there thinking, has he had enough? Is he ready to leave?
Like Formula E or just Jaguar?
Formula E in general.
Okay.
Because it's not the first time he spat the dummy out, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he's a competitive person, so like I expect him, and obviously things haven't gone his way. You know, people could argue that he is one of the best drivers in Formula E not to have won a championship, and you know I feel like, and he's been the number. I think he's been the number one at Jaguar for so long, and then Nick Cassidy's come along and taken that away from him. I'm not
And
saying,
Antonio, in fairness.
But Antonio and Nick Cassidy were two drivers that, you know, could have challenged him and have really pushed him.
Yeah,
and I think we've seen a lot of that. I think that those radio messages have come from a lot of frustrations from that.
yeah, but 16th to 2nd is still a good drive. Don't get me wrong. There's just no need to spit the dummy out about it.
No, yeah, I fully agree. Like
There is a time and a place for it, and I said that to Mum when she told me about it Saturday afternoon. I'm like, on a live broadcast, maybe not isn't the way to like do it. Save it for the debrief afterwards.
Yeah, but emotions, Pico, like emotions run high in these situations. You know,
absolutely.
Imagine imagine it was you, right? And you're fighting for a win, and your team says stay there, and you've fought from 16th, and the win is just it's in front of you. You can touch it, right? Surely you're not gonna on the radio. You don't care that people can hear what you're about to say. You say it because you're fighting your corner. So this is where I'll stick up for Mitch, because you're fighting your corner, right? And you're saying no, right? This isn't right. I've worked really hard. I've got a chance of victory. I'm 1% up on energy, or whatever it is. I'm up on energy. I've got the chance to win this race. I could go from 16th to 1st here, and you're stopping me, and I don't agree with it. So I get his frustrations. Like, I fully get them, right? Because I think if any racing driver was in Mitch's position, right?
They'd do the same. I do agree with you there, but there is a time and a place for it. But hey ho.
Yeah, that's where I think I disagree. Like, I get your point. Don't get me wrong. I get your point that there's a time and a place for it, and if you are a bit more, if you can holding your emotions but you have to be. I don't know what type of person you have to be able to hold that frustration at the immediate point to then go, I'm not going to say it now, I'm going to say it. But even then, even if that was broadcasted, Pico, I think, if he said, wait till the debrief, or, I'll talk to you later, right? Don't talk to me now, I'll talk to you later, right? And even if he said that, then I still think gives off the same energy as him shouting down the radio.
Yeah, there was so it was the Ian James call after the race. So when he went to say well done to Mitch, and Mitch went, yeah, I don't want to hear it, and everything like that. That is fine. It was the bit during the race where you obviously you ask, can I go for the move? And they go no, and you think, why? And so it just escalates quite a bit from there, and it's basically just snowballs all the way through from there. And so when you're frustrated, and when you're driving a single-seater racing car at 150 odd mile an hour or whatever, it's probably the top speed down the front straight, something like that.
I wasn't. It's
going to and the adrenaline rush and everything like that. It's all gonna blur into one, and you are just gonna start talking. But one of my favorite things that I've ever seen is it goes back, and again, Formula One. Sorry, but it was in Bahrain a few years ago where Lewis Hamilton called Verstappen a dickhead for a move. And a Dutch journalist brought it up in the press conference, and Seb answered the question and said, "Look, you wouldn't put mics on footballers and critique every single thing that they're saying." I mean, there's one of my favourite clips of all time was when Jill Scott mouthed "f off" to someone, and they showed it in slow motion. You could really tell what was said. And so the thing is, when you're the adrenaline is pumping at these speeds, these things come out, and so it's very much a part of sport that these things happen. And and yes, they would have spoken about it in the debrief, but that would have been after the podium, after the press conference, after speaking to you guys, and then the debrief. So by that point, it was 2 hours after. Mitch would have calmed down by that point. He still would have been angry at the chance that a win was taken away from him. But I don't. I reckon that at the end of the day, he would have been. Look, I went from 16th to 2nd. That's still an amazing job.
Which it is, to be honest. But yeah, whilst I do agree that whilst I do have the point that there is a time and a place for it, I do agree also that Formula E is a very high pressure sport. The expectations on the drivers to get good results, not just for them but for the teams as well.
100%. 100%. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, it is a team sport.
Mm.
From everyone in the garage, with the exception of the drivers, it is a team sport. They care about the points at the end of the day. Obviously, they want to win. They like the idea of getting that race win bonus. But the points are what makes the prize at the end of the year possible.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's what that's what they'll want to do. So they won't mind which order they finish in, as long as they don't take each other out, then they're happy. But
Yeah, exactly.
it's an interesting one, but yeah.
I suppose it is what it is. We get it for Mitch. It wasn't nice, but as I said, I think this is the start of the end. I think now, Natalie, for Mitch Evans at Jaguar. What are your thoughts on that?
I hate to agree with you, but I don't think he's happy in that team anymore. I think because Cass and Dak are showing him up now, like Ricardo rightfully said earlier. I just don't think he's happy anymore.
Yeah, I think you can see it. Like, I don't know. Like I had the obviously the lucky. I was there in the media pen. I saw him firsthand. Obviously, I was part of the interview which Katie Fairman did, and we borrowed it effectively, or we did it together. But yeah, you could tell he didn't know anything about his penalty as well, which I suppose we haven't even talked about that because both of them were under investigation. But both of them passed it, so whatever it was with the mechanic looking around the side seemed to be all okay, because it was the exact same thing that happened for both. And you think, they're a bit they've done enough pit boost races now to know the rules. It would have been a big slip up if they hadn't.
It was a new rule for this weekend.
Okay.
I swear I heard that somewhere, that it was a new rule for this weekend that had been implemented, and so that's why they kind of slipped up on it. But
I am very glad it wasn't a sporting.
Don't quote me and say that's like, but I swear I heard that somewhere, so I'm running with it.
Right. So, but I'm really glad. Even if I was hoping, if it was a penalty, I was hoping that it wouldn't have been a sporting one, because to lose a race for a mechanic not even touching the car, just being on the wrong side of the line looking at the car, I don't think it sends the right message. It's not like they've done something so like illegally wrong that merits that. It's just someone in the wrong place. It should be just like a fine and or a suspended, or even a suspended like 5-second time penalty. Like, don't do that again. If you do that again, it's a 5-second time penalty. You've been warned once, something like that.
It's like someone being offside and a goal being scored, but that person who was offside actually had nothing to do with the goal.
Yeah.
It
had nothing to do with it, but the person deemed him to have, and you're just like, yes. So
with also with team penalties, I don't think it should be the drivers getting penalised for it. I think it should be a team fine or a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Well, as I said, but the thing is, from the regulations, and I must make this really, 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 really clear, they did nothing wrong. Right? They were deemed to find that they did nothing wrong. Right? It wasn't they didn't they broke the rules. It was like, no, what you did was fine. Right? So they had a look at it. They looked at it back at the rules, and the FIA determined what they did was correct. Right? So they didn't breach any rule. But what we're saying is, if they had breached a rule, I don't think I would have been comfortable sitting here today saying that the Costa and Evans have lost the 1-2 because of that. Right? Because I don't think that's right. Like, I personally just don't think it's in the interest of the sport that we start taking away race wins or even a 10th place finish, or a 9th place finish, or an 8th place finish, any points paying position finish for
a team error. Exactly.
For a different team. This is a team error. That's different. A team error can cause a team to get disqualified, right? Like a team error, 100%. We've seen it before. Wrong barcodes on Lucas Di Grassi's car in season 1, like on the front wing or whatever it was back at the time. It was the front wing.
The same, and it was like they'd and Porsche in season 8 in season 7 or season 8 in Puebla
Yeah.
when
Season 7.
Wehrlein got stripped of his win because of they'd submitted the wrong documents for the tyres.
Yes. I
Mm.
thought it was that one. I thought that's what you got. So, but like
Yeah.
that's a clear team error.
I do remember that.
But then it makes the car illegal, or it doesn't match up to the specifications. So a team error can sure get a penalty in some way, and there are some. But that one, no. For me, no. You can't have someone just accidentally passing a line, and you end up getting a 5-second time penalty. And because these races, a 5-second time penalty in a normal Formula 1 race potentially might mean you don't lose a position, right? Especially if you win a race. But in Formula E, a 5-second time penalty is horrible.
It could drop you.
It could take you outside the points. It could take you from first down to 7th. It's not like you're going to stay on the podium. You'd be demoted all the way half the field down. It's such a big penalty, a 5-second time penalty in
You go from
Formula E.
like 2nd to 17th in some races.
So you don't want to see that, and I just think for the good of the sport, it was really important that penalty decision stayed. But as I said, they were cleared anyway. So it's not even a discussion. Was it or was it not a penalty? It was cleared, right? And I'm happy that it was cleared the way it was cleared. Natalie, thank you so much for coming on, though. We really appreciate it.
I've got some news regarding London.
Go on.
It now clashes with Edinburgh Fringe, so I will not be there this year.
What's more important, Edinburgh Fringe or the London E-Prix?
Wait. Surely Edinburgh Fringe runs for like a month.
Yeah, what's more important?
My improv comedy.
What's more important? What's
I'm
more
sorry.
important? What's more important? Natalie, you're terrible, right? You come on this
I'm
show.
sorry.
You come on this show. You talk Formula E, and then you don't even bid it off for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
To be fair, I was up there last year because 2 of my friends got married on stage during the Fringe. So I went up for that last year. It was great. I mean, I wouldn't. The thing is, the way I did it though was ridiculous. I went up overnight on the National Express, went for the day, came back on the National Express. And I was basically a zombie like the next day. But yeah, no, the Fringe is pretty fun. But are they only on that one? They only on that one weekend.
That one weekend.
That one weekend.
One weekend throughout the whole month.
The last ever London E-Prix, potentially.
I'm sorry.
Did you is it the same group that you saw last night?
Yep.
Did you berate them? Did you berate them? No, you should have done. You should have berated them for having it on the same weekend as the Formula E.
For the London E-Prix. I will do. I'll be like, I miss Formula E for you lot. If any member of Shoot from the Hip watches this back, I love you all dearly.
Yeah. They don't care. They're happy that you've chosen them over Formula E. They're like, yes, right?
Jeff Dodd will hunt you down.
We're gonna send him. We're gonna send Jeff this clip. But Natalie, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. And again, I do apologise, but they're only up there that one weekend, so.
Here's what it is. It's okay. It's all right. Right, we'll see you later.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
All right, bye. Oh.
Right, just before are we going to a break?
Yeah, we're going to go to a break in a second. Yes.
Right, before we do, I have news from my darling brother about how Gorillaz works on stage. So there was people on stage. So it's Damon Albarn, who is the guy behind Gorillaz, who is the music guy from Gorillaz, with a live touring band, and then there are guests people who come and will sing parts and stuff like that. So that's how it works if you go to a Gorillaz concert. So
I don't know how they did. I don't know how they did their I don't know much. I know the songs, like is it Dirty Harry?
Oh yeah, Dirty Harry, Dare, Feel Good Ink,
right? But like So
Like,
I'd like to
their-
know.
their-
So I'm assuming. So it doesn't
Their
matter.
catalogue's amazing.
No, they've got some
Like-
good songs, but like, it's just it's interesting that you say that because then they get guest people to sing different parts. I'm like, I don't know how it was put together in
Well,
the
yeah,
first
but-
place.
Yeah, but
that
that-
means you've
yeah,
got
but
to
that
get guest
occasionally
singers to
happens.
sing. It's weird. It's not like it's an interesting concept, isn't it? It's something that we haven't. I don't think. Gorillas are potentially one of a kind, aren't they? Like they're
Yeah.
never.
I mean, they are the original virtual band in the rise of AI and everything like that.
But but even then, we may never see something like that ever again, because
true.
but even though they're really good and people do pay money, obviously, to go see them, I don't think music will go in that direction. I just can't see it. Like I can't see another Gorillaz type band emerging. I can't see it. I can't see it.
Not to that level.
Not
Not
to
to
that
that level.
So then, still to come on the FE bar, we'll be taking obviously more of your calls. If you want to get into the waiting room, now is your chance. It's a little bit thin on the ground in the waiting room at the minute, so if you get on, you'll be definitely on in the next hour. But we'll talk potentially Cassidy as well, because obviously he got on pole position. We'll talk a little bit about DS, because obviously they're leaving the series too. So plenty to talk about. So make sure you get in, come and have your say, because we need you. Can't do the show without you. But we'll see you in a couple of minutes. ladies and gentlemen, to take more of your calls. What's your drink of choice? What have you gone for?
Water, just tap fresh, clean water.
I haven't had any time actually. Well, I don't move, but I've had my tea. I've finished my tea. I'm surprised. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. No alcohol.
Even though it is Seg 2, I could have
Yep.
drunk something. I don't think I have anything in the thing unless it's just like unless I get on the vodka. Which look, I know that I have like a cider during this, but I'm not going to do vodka on this show. That is too much. There is a line. Do you know what? I might have a wine at some point. No, this would have been a brilliant one to have like a Spanish red wine or something like that.
Could've.
I'm not a red wine person.
Nor am I.
But
I can drink it, but I don't really like
or
it.
rosé.
White for me.
Yeah,
I do
white
like
or
white.
rosé.
I do like white.
Yeah.
But
We well, whenever we have our parties, we usually have like we always go for like a celebrity, so it's either like Kylie Minogue, Gary Barlow, Graham Norton, those just all the people who have wines out. So yeah. What's your tipple of choice? Write it in the comment section.
Go on, there we go. One for you. We're
There we go.
We're going to continue taking your calls, and we're going to start with Mazror Khan. He's in the chat. Hello, Mazror. Thank you so much for holding on and being in the waiting room for as long as you have been. Hopefully you are about. Hello, how are we?
I'm fine.
Good to hear from you.
After the Madrid E-Prix, I've got a lot of stuff to unpack.
Okay, good. We need it. So unpack.
Okay, I brought out my stat tracker booklet with the
good
bingo
lad.
card.
I don't even know where my book is. Where is
Yes,
the book?
I even shared it on the.
Buy the book. Buy the book.
But
Buy the book, everyone.
Here's my
Buy the book.
As they said, buy the book.
I haven't actually filled it out since I didn't take it with me. I don't know if that was bad. I did realize.
Did you not take it with
I
you?
didn't take it with me. Maybe I should have.
Okay,
Maybe
so
I should have. But anyway,
okay.
I've got it now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We've always heard
alright.
you.
Okay. February 2025. I predicted
Yep.
Citroen Racing pole position.
Oh, is that one of your bingos?
Yes, I predicted the
And
bingo.
you've
I'm
got-
smart.
Well done.
Okay, I also predicted Zayn
You had
Maloney.
there's so many boxes. I remember you going through our predictions. I cannot remember half of them. But how many have you ticked off?
I have shared it with you on the FE chat channel.
I can't look at that
Yeah.
right now. So Pico,
I mean,
will have to look at that.
it's looking better than my one at the moment. That's the state of my.
I didn't feel
Okay.
I didn't feel mine either. I haven't even filled in
okay.
that page.
Hang
Not for
on.
me- Not for me to do.
I will. Yeah, hang on. Which one's it in?
FE chat
FE
apparently.
FE chat. Here we go. Right. So I'll just run them through like very quickly so that I mean obviously you guys at home can look at it in the FE chat on the Discord. Meanwhile, I will just run them through so Jack's got an idea of what's happening. Barnard wins his first race. Maloney scores points. Ericsson podium. Ericsson outscores Buemi. Ticton wins at XL. Degrassi top 5 finish in a race. Roland has tough season. Verline is consistent. Marty points and a podium. Mahindra top 3 in constructors. Lola Yamaha app does not finish last in teams championship. Porsche defend teams and manufacturers. Drogovic gets a pole. Mortara has better average qualifying than De Vries. Citroen pole position. Muller wins a race. Evans wins one of the Asian races. Pit boost charge will have malfunctions throughout the year. A brake urgent issue after a car locked up, and heaviest rain in an Eprix.
Okay. I have got Zayn Maloney scores points.
Yeah.
I predicted that, and say Citroen Racing scores a pole. I got that right.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Marty to get the podium. I felt that was close. Okay. Another thing I want to unpack.
Yep.
Last year, FE Bar,
Yep.
silly season.
Yep.
We were talking about Ian James moving to Jaguars team principal,
Yep.
I called the shot that Stoffel Van Dorn will reunite with him. Can you remember that video?
No. No, genuinely, it's not me being like harsh or anything. My memory is awful.
Okay.
Like, we have so many opinions on this.
I might remember it.
Okay, so all the way back in last year, when we were doing a video about the Formula E silly season on the FE bar, it was 2025. I think the season ended. It was before or after the London E-Prix.
Yep.
There was a discussion as to, okay, James Barclay is leaving Jaguar. Let me refresh your memory. James Barclay was leaving Jaguar. And there were talks about, okay, Ian James is going to come in as team principal for Jaguar. So Stoffel Van Dorn, who lost a seat because Maserati pulled the plug and Citroën replaced them, McLaren pulled the plug. And I said, I made the call that at the end of our video chat, Stoffel might probably reunite with Ian James. Okay, that's what I said. And lo and behold, it's almost coming all together. Van Dorn is now a reserve driver at Jaguar. He's tested the Gen 4.
Yep.
And Evans is now like being treated as the middle child. Like, I'm sorry to say this. Jaguar seems like, to best describe Jaguar's relationship with Mitch currently, Jaguar feels like a toxic relative in an Asian household.
That's brilliant.
Of all the anecdotes I thought I'd hear tonight, that's not the one that I thought I'd hear.
Do you know what the hilarious thing? The hilarious thing in my life.
I'm a Bangladeshi, bro. I can relate.
But I understand. But I get it because I work with a lot of like Indian type people and so forth.
Bangladesh.
Yeah, so and I hear the cultural aspects of it. So it's quite funny that you say that because actually I feel like sometimes I hear the complaints at work that people are like, oh, I can't believe X just is happening to me at home, and you're like, oh, Jesus.
Oh my
God.
God.
I kind of get it. Go on.
And most importantly, Evans. First of all, I get, like you said earlier in the video, you get the team orders logic, but Mitch Evans, he went from 16th to second place with 2 laps remaining.
Yep.
He was 2% on energy, whereas Da Costa was 1% less.
Yeah.
He had 1% more energy than Da Costa, and he was just 0.3 behind Da Costa. He has every right to be pissed off because of how Ian James was basically said, oh, no, hold up, we got to hold the 1-2, otherwise we can lose an entire 43 points of the teams. And what Mitch Evans was basically like, to best describe it in Asian household terms, Evans was the elderly child, the only child,
Yeah.
the number one driver. Then came Nick Cassidy, the younger sibling, Antonio Felix da Costa, who is colleagues with Mitch, the elder sibling, and he's now become the middle child who's ignored. And now he's looking at fresher, newer pastures, considering that his Gen 4 contract isn't confirmed. And it's further solidified with how the team order treatment he had in the Madrid E-Prix. Because he, as you said, he's now basically racing for himself. He's no longer a damn about what the team thinks or anything. He doesn't even care if the team probably wins the constructor or not. He's been in that position. I can guarantee you at the last lap, when he was behind Da Costa and he was ordered to hold the position for second, he had London E-Prix 2024 flashback nightmares as to what happened. It's like, is this same Jaguar strangling me again in that similar situation? You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh my God! Looking into this, I'm gonna tell you, Mitch is gonna. I'm expecting an emotional outburst now. He already had a tough season last season, when 11 consecutive races he had non-point scoring finishes.
Yep.
And he has now for a team that he's been racing for almost a decade, he's now being treated as second fiddle. He feels he's being sidelined.
Yeah. For me, I think Pico. This is what I kind of said earlier. I think he's been the number one for so long in that team
Yeah.
that now that they've hired effectively two number ones, right, with Nick Cassidy and Antonio Felix da Costa, he's no longer the golden boy, if that makes sense. Like he's been the king of that castle for so long, and now he's had Nick Cassidy give him a couple of wounds. And even though he says he likes Antonio, and I believe him, right? I believe him, but he still wants to beat Antonio. So he's even though he's won a race this season, Antonio's now won two, right? And he wanted to be the one that wins two. He wanted to one. I've got more wins than Antonio this season, right? And it's the other way round. And I just think, he's now got that competition. I'm not saying he's, I got a lot of time. I've got a lot of respect for Mitch Evans. He's done the hard work of getting Jaguar to the position where he's in, and he's stuck by that team, and he's reaping the rewards of it now. But again, not won that championship, and it's going to be hard to win the championship. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if he's felt like maybe he has. He's done his time, and he wants to explore new options. But if he does leave, Jaguar without winning a championship, it feels a bit harsh. But it sometimes is the way the cookie crumbles.
100%. The first thing that you want to do as a racing driver is beat your teammate, and this weekend that opportunity, I wouldn't say was taken away from him. Yes, there was a team order, but I think Mitch, given the opportunity, would have done it anyways. I think but you are absolutely right in terms of he has been that has been Mitch's team forever. Since season 3, he had a multitude of teammates from season 3 until season 6. Season 7, Sam Bird came into the Jaguar fold, and Sam, even though he was widely respected as one of the best in Formula E at the time, couldn't hold a candle to Mitch. So it was still, I think, I'm not sure if that gave Mitch a big kind of like ego boost, or something like that. But then when Nick Cassidy came in and
his close friend
on the same level, yes, they were mates when they were kids. But I mean, like everyone talks about Lewis and Nico and stuff like that they were mates when they were kids, and like, yes, the relationship is a lot better now than it was 10 years ago. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Cass was on the same level as Mitch, was able to beat Mitch week in, week out. I mean, like, he wasn't like overpowering Mitch. Neither is da Costa, but maybe it's the fact that Mitch needs to be in a team where he is the number one.
Yeah, and maybe
if you look at the last two teammates, he needs to be the focus of that team.
Yep.
And the last few years, he hasn't, and that's potentially been the caveat to move on from Jaguar.
Just to break away very quickly, we've got someone watching from St. Lucia, so I was going to just say hello. To them, I'm interested to have how you watch Formula E in St. Lucia. I'm very interested in that. But he said Zane's said his car was overpowered. What does that mean? Effectively, what happened was he had a bit of an energy spike. It's a bit random. I think Pico would agree with that sometimes.
Technical interaction on the graphic in the information.
So it was a bit of a random act of God, you could say, or just a random thing that happens. And unfortunately, he went, I think it was only half a kilowatt. I think I read half a kilowatt over.
It used to happen all the time. It used to happen all the time. Like, so when they'd the thing is that this is going back a while, but when it was Gen 1, because the maximum output I think was 200 kilowatt. 200 kilowatts in qualifying mode. They'd always set it at about 198, so that when it did spike over, they wouldn't be disqualified, because there were quite a few drivers that took pole and then were disqualified because they'd gone over a bump that had spiked up the thing over to 200, and so
spike the power.
I want to say it happened to
It's happened to too many people.
Costa in Long Beach season 2. I might be wrong, but that's something that's thrown into the back of my head. I am going to spend the next 5 minutes looking this up now. So, yes.
Spike, the spike, basically, in electronic engineering terms, there are certain vibrations that can trigger a spike on the power output. If you put up an oscilloscope and try and keep track of whether it's within range, does it overshoot the beyond the threshold? It happens with our electronic devices as well. I remember working in an electronics lab when I was in university in 2015, and there was an earthquake, and it suddenly made the signal generator read from 300 kilohertz to suddenly shoot up to 833 kilohertz due to sudden vibrations. So those spikes are like those sudden spikes can put a stress on it, shoots a lot of energy, and it shows a reading on the digital. It shows a digital reading that, oh, you went over the pike, and that can sometimes lead to a disqualification because of overpower. That delicate balance is something engineers can never tell during a race until it's the actual race situation on the ground.
Until it happens.
Yeah,
for sure. Messi, if Messi 758 Bike Life. But thank you for joining the show, and obviously if you like us, you can give us a like and a subscribing as well. And hello, Jamie. It's great to see you again.
Hi, Jamie. Hope you had fun in Spain.
We were together in the Airbnb, so we had a lot of fun. But Mazrul, thank you so much for coming on.
Fun.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Tune in to my next bingo part and my further.
We'll try and see if you can tick off a couple more as the season goes on.
Of course, the image is on the FE chat channel.
So we'll have a look. I'll definitely have a look after the show.
Okay. Looking forward.
Right.
Bye.
See you later. Right.
Good night.
See you. Right. Bye. Night.
Later.
Right. Let's get the man who was at the track this weekend and still in Madrid, because you said you're still in Madrid. Are you still in Madrid?
Yes, absolutely. Still here.
How long are you in Madrid for, Chris?
Fly back tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening. So what did you get up to today?
Just to say, I'm with Lou. We're sharing a hotel room, and literally,
nice.
just walked around the city and just kind of saw the sights. Really,
nice.
Just been a tourist for the day. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, no, I haven't. To be fair, I've been to Madrid now like 3 times. I've flown into Madrid airport. I think I've spent 1 day in Madrid in terms of actually sightseeing out of my whole actual time of being in there, which is a bit bad. And I only went to the main shopping district. I didn't even go and see any tourist stuff and in that main time I just went to the McDonald's pretty much, and I had to do some work in the McDonald's using the McDonald's Wi-Fi to help with the Valencia streams because I didn't stay for the rookie test that day. I've got a bit of a reputation of not completing rookie tests.
We know it.
Yeah, got a bit of but yeah, I saw you over the weekend. You had an amazing weekend. I think it might be cool to explain, how fun your weekend was and what it was like from a fan trackside.
Well, yeah. I mean, I say, which one do you want to start? Really, obviously the fan experience, or obviously what we were getting on with.
Start with the fan experience, and then we'll go with what you got up to.
Yeah, so I say the Saturday, I say nice way possible from the fan side. It was I say great event. Like it felt like, to be fair, nice way possible. It did feel like it was going to be like I can't remember the word, but like prepping to move over to Madrid. But since the events happened, I think I hope, and it looks like they're going to make it a home.
Yeah, I think it needs to become home. I do think, I know I said in my Gen 4 video, potentially Barcelona, because obviously, Barcelona's also a big city. You've got a big track. You've got good facilities. But I was fairly impressed with the facilities at Jarama when I was there, and I was lucky with the views that I could get. But what were the views like from the track in itself? So where you were at, did you get a good vantage point? Were you at the main grandstand? I assume. Can't remember.
Yes, the main grandstand, which obviously we've found out obviously on the day, say communication hasn't been great there, which found out on the day was standing,
Yes.
which obviously would have been quite nice to know beforehand. Obviously, I still probably would have gone for it, but still, my back was killing at the end of the day. And yeah, vantage point wise, to be fair, you can see all the way from. Well, you had that massive sign that was blocking off because obviously it has that hill coming down to T12. Yeah. So you can see the cars basically come from under there. So you couldn't actually see them go around T11. They just appear from under the sign.
Yep.
And then you'd see all the way down to T1 pretty much. So actually, vantage point view wise was actually pretty good.
That's decent. Yeah. I was impressed with the track. Like as I said, I fell in love with it, and I can't wait to go back. I'm praying that stat of it going in July is not true.
Yes. So as I said in the chat, Lou sat with me. He's.
I hope for a bit warmer weather than but.
Yeah, warmer than what we had.
Come on, Lucy. The Dutchies got the same weather as us, more or less. So
I think the weather
that
we had on Sunday.
I want to have warmer weather.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think the Sunday weather is what we wanted, really, for the whole weekend, not just on that little bit of the day.
True.
But,
not first thing in the morning when we were literally 3 degrees leaving the hotel.
It was freezing.
So obviously, because I'm an hour in front, and all I have to do is go from my bed to my bedroom to here. I came in to here and saw that it was 6 degrees air temperature, and thought, Jesus Christ, that's You go to Spain and it's even colder, and then suddenly Tom Brooks at the end of the session goes, by the way, it's going to snow in the next hour. I mean. That must have been interesting.
Well, it didn't snow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know where Tom got that, because it just had
there was no sign of
any rain on it.
I know there was snow, obviously, in Tenerife. There was snow in Tenerife. So I don't know if he got any wind of that might coming over here, but that was a bit of a far-fetched.
I mean, would have been interesting to see.
Yeah.
But I would have rather have seen it on the television and not in an uncovered grandstand.
Yeah, no, I would have loved to see it. I mean, at your expense.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think, regardless, I thought it was a brilliant. I mean, when me and JB were commentating on the sessions this weekend, we just fell in love from just watching the sessions. It was such a wonderful circuit to be at. I know that it's quite. The thing is, we've been saying it's an old school circuit, but it's not just an old school circuit for the track, because the facilities also look like they're straight out of 1975. I mean, that grandstand that you guys were standing on for that it is quite an old beast, that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole track is.
And it was packed, that grandstand as well. We ended up standing on the stairs because that's where you had to stand, because
it gave football stadium vibes. It did give some football stadium
vibes. I will say about it being absolutely rammed. Every single camera angle, even at 8:30 in the morning, there were so many people who were on the bankings around turns 3 and 4. It just seemed like it was somehow the word had got out in Spain about Formula E, and everyone wanted to be there.
Yeah, well, I say I could obviously, because we did get warned, because obviously we were there on the Friday. We did get warned that the traffic was going to be terrible if we tried to get there for 8.
Yeah.
Well, I should know. I was in the car.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm assuming you arrived later than me. I don't know what time, but then we got there. What time did we get there? We were there for 7:30.
Yeah.
So we were there an hour before FP1. So, and it was empty. It was easy, very quick for us to get there. But I don't know if you coming a bit later. What time did you get to the track?
Yeah, quite the opposite. We took that kind of to heart and turned up for 7 and stood in a field for an hour waiting to be let in.
Okay, so you got it. So there was no traffic.
Yeah,
what was the
there was
traffic
no
like
traffic.
getting out? Did you stay around for a bit, or did you leave straight away? What was it like going home?
We stuck around for a bit, and then we decided to actually get the shuttle bus back because
Nice.
Why not?
yeah, why not? And because we looked at Ubers because
Ubers
obviously
were expensive.
yes, you were looking at least €70
Jesus.
to get an Uber back, which
I think ours was like 40 going back to, but we were 20 minutes away from the track where we were staying.
yes.
This,
So
this is why I drive for these for when it's a circuit that's a little bit further out. So with Madrid for testing last year, with Valencia, I've always got cars.
Did you know
That's
that
a good
they've
idea.
changed the rules? So we were supposed to have a car, poor Yasmin, and she got denied the car because she didn't have an international driving permit, which you had to have and a physical copy, not a digital copy.
Okay.
New rules. So it's
Okay.
don't panic. It's cheap. It's for non-EU people, so it doesn't affect me too much. But yeah, we needed one of those, and you could have purchased one and had it in 5 minutes.
Hang on,
right?
Jamie's just said you couldn't park. Was there
Well, you
nowhere to
couldn't park. Well, apparently they said that you couldn't. If you drove on the Saturday, you wouldn't have been allowed to have parked in any of the car parking spaces.
yeah,
Which was
so
another problem. So they put on a media shuttle bus from the Atletico Madrid stadium, which was nowhere near where we were staying, by the way. Like.
Yeah, no, I know where that is because when me, Jack, and Nick went to testing, we stayed basically on the south east side of Madrid, and considering that the circuit is on the north of Madrid, it was about a 45-50 minute run time to get there, and and our route went past the Atletico Stadium, which I want to say was in the first 15 minutes of that journey, so it's
was bang
still
in the
quite
middle of
a way
Madrid,
away.
pretty much. So that shuttle bus for us didn't help. So we needed Uber effectively. We needed it. To drop us off.
Yeah, well, if I jump in on that on the shuttle bus, with again communication, say this one thing that has let down the weekend was the communication. The shuttle bus, they well, I got the email. They put an email in Spanish.
Yep.
Not obviously the Thursday, obviously before the Friday, like the Thursday before.
Yep.
Asking people if they'd use it.
Yep.
Like you'd think a week out from an event, you would have thought about that.
Yeah, it did feel, but even for us as media, like being told that you couldn't park was like, well, why are you telling us this now? If we had hired a car and we had a car, like that's how we were getting to and from the track.
Like,
we needed to know early.
I know that Toby had a car. Because he posted it on a story.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if he managed to drive in, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, we haven't had any guests, journos today because everyone's still travelling or just getting back or not available. Unfortunately, it's been one of those. But so we haven't had any because obviously there was a lot of questions that I wanted to get out of other people from stories that they had been working on, but we'll live to fight another day on that one. But obviously, Chris, you also had a really, 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 really good experience with Andretti. If you want to elaborate more on that.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, obviously, classic. Say as I do with holidays, came in with no plan whatsoever because it's the best way to do holidays. So yeah, so on the Thursday, I don't know if people saw obviously on the social medias that obviously there was an event in Madrid city centre down at I can never say it. Is it Piazza del Sol?
Piazza del Sol Square.
Yeah.
So that's the proper centre of Madrid.
Yes, that is like you put
the
a pin.
Oxford Circus, that is like.
Yeah, like Trafalgar Square, literally, like that is the central square. I'll be honest, there are a lot of people standing around.
Yep.
And it was, not really knowing what was going on because it was not advertised. We bumped into Jeff Dodds walking down there, and even he didn't know what was going on.
Standard.
He just got told he had to be there.
Yep. Standard.
So, yeah, so then they obviously I know it was before the Andretti stuff, but yeah, then obviously they ran a show car and had all the drivers, and obviously had all the drivers walk through selfies and all that, and then obviously dignitary meetings, and obviously quite nice. Obviously, a couple of the drivers, obviously Pepe came out and spoke to everybody, and then obviously Jake. To be fair, Jake and Zane also came out. I mean, a lot of the drivers, I'll be honest, they kind of snuck out the back entrance.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple came out and actually said hello. I mean, Jeff came out the front, but with headphones in and he was off.
Off to explore,
As you can imagine.
off to go shopping.
Yes. And yeah, so obviously bumped into Jake there, and then obviously it's Friday we managed to get invited to watch the FP1 session live from the garage, which was absolutely incredible, really.
Yeah, what's it like watching from the... I've never done it, so what is it like watching from...
I haven't. It was the Andretti garage as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's amazing. Say, what got me, I know this might seem like a small thing, but the cameras and the commentary, because obviously on the headphones you have the commentary as well as the team radio.
Yeah.
It is to the millisecond, as in exactly to time, which is obviously even on the, well, quote unquote big screens, you couldn't see them at the track, but even on the quote unquote big screens, you still had the delay.
Yep.
Whereas it was like bang to the millisecond. And yeah, obviously it was just great, obviously watching. I mean, in a weird way, it's kind of like being in a zoo watching
all these people work and move around and you're just standing there watching.
Yeah, like obviously just kind of like you're existing there, and like obviously they're working hard, and yeah, just kind of listening to obviously the way it works, and yeah, obviously getting a few photos, and the experience was amazing. Really, it was.
I would love to do it one day. I would love the opportunity to do that. Just to experience it for a practice session, like it would be so cool to go.
Because you texted me a video, didn't you, of it?
I sent you
Friday night, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I pinged it over to you, just to make you feel happy for being in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was the message I got. Hope you're enjoying the UK. Well, do you know what? On the Saturday, I was really enjoying being in the UK whilst you guys were freezing your tits off at 6-degree weather.
You wanted it to be at the track as much as we were.
Oh, of course I want to be at the track. I love it. I like... Genuinely, I do get like the whole fear of missing out thing with it, but like... to be fair, it makes like races like London so much sweeter. Like I genuinely just like, oh my god, I'm back. I miss this place so much. And then I think I mean like it's I do get that experience is super cool. So I'm super happy that you guys got to experience that in the Andretti garage.
Yeah, and also we managed to get invited back again. We clearly behaved ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Back again for the Sunday for the rookie session, which obviously is a broadcast.
Yep.
So it was quite nice actually watching. Obviously we were with Freddie and Callum, and obviously Freddie 6th, Callum 8. They were but to be honest, Freddie especially, but they are both like future stars. Like I could see if Audi are going on their trajectory in F1. Obviously, he's an Audi reserve driver in F3. Has gone back to back, and he's currently third in the championship after coming second in Melbourne. And chatting with his manager, admittedly that he's struggling because, well, the next 2 races were the 2 Middle East races.
Yeah.
So he's not racing again until Monaco in June.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, they were talking to his manager, like, and obviously that's also an in-session test as well, which has gone.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be in a competitive session till June.
That's madness, isn't it? It's amazing what it's done just for these lads' careers. Well, not careers, but like their seasons. It's a bit mental on that at all.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously his manager. He's got to say he's on the same management stable as Jake Dennis, which is why obviously he got into that thing, and Lando Norris as well randomly, but they're all in the same management stable. which how he got into the Andretti garage. But yeah, obviously he's one for the future. I could see him winning if Audi are going the red trajectory that they are, and if he's going in the trajectory he is. I could see him winning F3 and then hopefully for him double up in F2.
Yep.
Climb up and get in an Audi seat, and if Audi are on the trajectory they are, obviously I'd love to.
Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know what I think Formula One really needs at the moment? I think we really need a British driver. It's been a while since we've had a British driver in Formula One.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Callum voicing though, just on the other side of it though, I've had some very interesting discussions over the weekend. It's like the Porsche Junior team, and that he could be one of those that is looked at for the junior team, and it was maybe a bit more of an important one. Same for Théo Pourchaire in terms of the Opel seat potentially as well. So it was quite a big because obviously you got the Porsche drivers as well, because Callum's also associated with Porsche, and obviously the Porsche drivers that were in the car. So it was a proper test, I would say, to see how they get on. And we spoke to Callum, and we're gonna put our interviews out, which I did, as you saw me do, Chris. That video hopefully will come out in the next few days, of our interviews with the rookie drivers. And he's basically saying that, you know, it's something that he's looking at. He said nothing is anywhere concrete or anywhere close at this precise moment, but he said if the opportunity was to come up, he would want it 100%.
Yeah, and like I say, I can see Callum having it. I say, bit. Obviously, I don't know if I should announce this because I don't know whether it was announced publicly.
You
but
can
obviously
say whatever you want, because you're not bound by anything, are you?
No. The only thing Freddie said, there was accusations of people using tyre warmers in the rookie test.
Okay.
And it was DS apparently who were
using tyre warmers. Interesting.
Yeah. So
interesting, but what do you gain? I don't know. It's only a rookie test, so it's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, that's like what punishment could there be? Say it's not that they're going to be disqualified from the rookie test. It just meant obviously they could go out and set hot laps, whereas obviously Andretti were having 3 warm-up laps before being able to set a hot lap.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, so, that was the accusation that was going around. But
interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that, so that's really cool that you guys found out from your lovely experience that you had with Andretti. Chris, Lou, T, I don't know if you've got anything else to say, but otherwise we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, well, obviously apart from my little gift from Andretti, which I don't know if I put this, which was the side pod wing.
The side pod wing.
Oh yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it on Luke's Instagram. Yeah.
Jake Dennis, of course.
I saw it. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Mate, someone walked away with a whole Porsche, and I'm telling you now, I would have taken something if I could have.
Well, the whole car.
Pretty much. Underfloor, a wheel rim. The Porsche.
They're out there wheeling it out. It's like, don't mind me. I'm sure I can fit it in the carry-on.
They took like the bottom half a floor, a wheel rim. They took like the rear wing, like that said Porsche on it, just the Porsche bit that had Porsche on it. That would have been the bit I would have liked to have nicked if I could have nicked the piece. I would have liked to have nicked that and a couple of other like scrap pieces. But yeah.
Yeah, there was a marshal walking out when we walked out because I don't know how easy you found it. Oh, you were too early, but there must have been a crash going northbound out of Madrid, so like you couldn't get back into the city because you couldn't get an Uber out. If that makes sense. To come and get you. But as we were walking out to get the bus back, there was a bloke who genuinely had the entire floor of a car.
Yeah.
One of the marshals, like the entire floor.
Wow. Like, fair play, but what on earth are you going to do with it? Like,
wall decoration?
Yeah. What are you going to do with a floor of a race? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, what are you going to get with a floor? Like, I don't know. I really don't.
I would put it against my wall, I think.
Yeah.
You put it against the wall, but it takes up a lot of space. Like, it takes up a lot of space. Like, you've got.
I just have my little nose cone just sitting here.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Like I've got
Yeah.
peace. I've got peace. Like, hold on, let me go and get it. It's sat on the corner of my. Where is it? It's gone.
Is it the piece that you nicked at the same time as I did?
Actually, saying that, I can't actually see it. I don't know where it is.
Genuinely, I think it was London season 9. I just went and raided the.
That's where we're gonna find.
No, that's okay. That was buffering for a bit.
Yeah, you've kind of jumped on my end. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. But
Johnny's gone. I was gonna get Johnny in
stream
from the
buffered.
waiting room. Oh, did the stream buffer? Nothing has.
Yeah.
Nothing has gone. I got a new notification about F1 25 and EA Sports 26 now. A live highlighter like that was actually the stream disconnected. Attempted to reconnect. Oh, maybe it did buffer. Maybe we just.
Yeah, I think it might be in your end. Then.
We might have had a lag spike. Maybe it didn't like me standing up. It's like, no, you must sit down.
Yeah, you're not allowed to move, not until this is over.
Yeah. So, boys, we'll let you go and enjoy your last evening in Madrid, and get home safely, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, hopefully I'll bump into you in Berlin, and Lou, Monaco, isn't it?
Monaco, yes.
Right,
So
hopefully I'll bump into you in Berlin then.
Yeah, and Jack, see you in London.
Yeah, I'll be in London. I'll see you in London. Yeah, I only do London at this point. Yeah, money. Yeah, no. All right, cheers, guys.
Right.
Yeah, don't worry, Jack. I'll send you lots of photos from Berlin while I'm over there as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. I'm gonna block your number.
Right, see you later, boys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Well, Johnny, if you are around, we were just waiting. I was trying to wrap that up so we could have got you in because
I did text him to say I did message him saying that we were going to get him on.
We were going to get him on.
That was
so we did see him.
8 minutes
because
ago.
the waiting room is now empty. So if you would like to join and have your say before we wrap it up here, and call it a night.
While we hope that someone's going to dive in, how was your experience of Madrid? Going there, thoughts on the city?
I haven't seen much of the city, but
the venue.
I think it's a good location. The fact that I know there was an accident, but at the end, but I left early, right? Because I'm a donut. Because I felt I wasn't a donut because I got home by 7:30 in the UK, right?
Fine.
And I didn't fancy.
It's just a rookie test.
Yeah, I know.
If you had to leave early and miss the race, then I would have
problem.
What the hell are you doing?
Problem.
No, it was a rookie test.
Yeah, and I wasn't.
I left last year early and then missed my flight.
Nikki Shields was on my flight, and
oh, she?
Nikki Shields.
Oh,
was on my
lovely.
flight. And Andrew van der Berg was also on my flight. Another journalist was on my flight. But I was just like. As I said, I really enjoyed it, and I think what's really important for everybody, especially on when you're at an event, is how close you are to the airport. And it took me 15 minutes in an Uber from the track. So once I got my Uber, which actually was a really quick turnaround, like it took 3 minutes for me to, and we were waiting 10-15 minutes every day. And when I called it 1:30, he was 3 minutes away. I was like, beautiful. I need to get this cab ASAP. And I kind of left that time thinking I was going to have a 10-15 minute wait. Didn't get that in the end, and then we got to the airport. I was at the airport. I thought I was going to get to the airport about 1 hour 45, an hour and a half before my flight. I got there more than 2 hours before, right? And I had time.
Which is what you do when you're flying out of Madrid.
Yeah.
And what you don't do is you upload all your files. You leave it far too late. You go and drop the hire car off. Crash the hire car in the actual bit, literally, oh, where do I park it? I park it here, and what I did is I parked it in a blimmin' pole. And then you hover, apologise profusely for that, wait for a shuttle bus that takes 50 minutes to turn up, and then have the inability to check in because you need to check it in person, not there. But by the time you made it to the airport, it's 40 minutes to your flight. There's no one there. Have a meltdown, and it all just goes bad. That's how you do a proper flight out of Madrid.
Oh Jesus!
It was one of the worst nights of my life. But that was 18 months ago, and look, I'm healed.
The thing is, you probably still could have made it.
Yeah, had I been able to check in online, I would have just
'Cause
flown
you
through
never.
security straight on through.
So
But
why
it wouldn't
weren't you
allow me
able
to
to check
check
in
in online.
online?
It wouldn't allow me, and I don't know why. To this day, I do not know why it wouldn't allow me, because I was trying to check in the night before. I phoned Dad about it. It's like, yeah, okay, right. You need to make sure that I'm there early, and then I just, yeah, it was my own fault. But yeah,
Well, look, you're alive. That's the most
Yeah.
important thing.
yeah.
Yeah, but as an event, but I still think being close to the airport is massively important, and the fact that it took it I now know I could, if it became a double header, for example, and I had to do the race, and I don't know what time the last flight is. Let me Google it. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna do this now as I'm talking, but like if I was to get the last flight out of Madrid, I know I could do it.
I know that there was one, and I know it's on a. I was supposed to come back on a Thursday, whereas it's a Sunday. But the last flight out was like 10:35, but it was to Stansted. So, whereas the one that I was trying to get was about 8 or 9 p.m.
Yeah.
and that was going to Heathrow. I know that was going to Heathrow.
I'm just do Thursday, or I can't do that.
Yeah.
Then. Let's do tomorrow. If I was flying tomorrow, and I'm gonna return on the 31st.
No, because
it doesn't matter.
Surely
I'm just looking at flight times.
Surely you're flying back on a Sunday because you need to be at work for Monday.
Yeah, no, but I'm just. The problem is the flight times don't massively change. So
Do you know what? If the Formula E weekend,
because
I
got the 6
next year. I'm coming because if I can run as far away from the British Grand Prix, that's my dream.
So
I'd happily go to Shanghai if it wasn't Shanghai.
I could fly tomorrow to Madrid for £170. That's not bad. And I could fly home for £88. I can fly home on Wednesday, the 1st of April, for £41, booking it now. British that's so cheap.
Yeah. The thing is, this is the thing that we found, like the last 3 years, and yes, there was a year that we had to go to Madrid.
The last
3 years for testing, I've flown to Madrid and then taken a train to Valencia.
So if I wanted to go to Madrid for tomorrow,
for testing,
for £300, it's actually I booked for next Monday, next 31, and so next week. Cost me £300. I spent £180, but that's not too bad considering I'm booking so last minute.
Yeah.
£300, but the last flight.
I'll be honest.
The last flight leaving Madrid at 9 o'clock.
I was intrigued. I was looking at flights last week.
You know,
knowing full well I did not have the money to do it.
Yeah.
But I was intrigued. But, that's what it's a bit like when you go onto Rightmove and you just look at houses
and you can't afford them.
It's like you're not really gonna do anything with it. You just browse.
You gotta browse. You gotta see what's about because you never know, something might eventually come up in your price range and you just didn't know. And you gotta know then how much you need to save to get to that point. Yeah, Johnny's in the waiting room, everybody.
Johnny's in the waiting room.
Johnny.
If we can stop talking about high house prices.
Yeah, well, it's alright. I don't mind talking about house prices. It's nice.
Cosy lips.
It's nice to talk about random stuff. Johnny has unmuted. I don't know if you can hear. Hopefully you can hear us, but we can't hear you. Hello, Johnny. How are we? Lovely to hear you.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about?
I'm actually at work, so I had to just skip out of the waiting room for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. But we're glad to have you back because we've been stalling, waiting for you in hope to come back and see out the show for us.
Yeah. And did you guys enjoy the race?
I did. What a track! I walked it twice. Right, I loved it so much. Like, I did the track walk video. I don't know if you've watched the track walk video that I did on YouTube, and if you haven't, please watch it because a lot of effort went into that. But I say that, but I was very rushed because we had an interview with Albi Lau on little bit late that day, but I wanted to get that video done. So it was, but I'm really proud of the team of us and JB Motorsport putting that together, because I do think the final product that came out was really good. So do go and watch that, and if anyone else hasn't watched it, do watch it. But it was really quick. But when I walked it the second time, as much as Jamie was they waited for me, I did tell them to text me. I said to text me. I said, look, I can walk half of it, right? But if you don't text me, I'm going to end up walking.
He's only got little legs.
Yeah. And I said, because there was a cut through at turn 5, and I got to the turn 5 cut through. I looked at my time. I said, I've only been out 20 minutes, right? And I was like, it's not that bad, right? And I had my headphones in. I was jamming to music, and I was like, I'm having a good time here. They haven't texted me. Tyler told me that they were editing a video, and I was like, text a little bit more. I did it in 45 minutes. I walked the track in 45 minutes, right? I was quite proud of that. And I could have got in sooner, but they closed one of the gates, so I had to walk the whole pit lane to walk all the way back to the instead of cutting through at the beginning. But yeah, I love the track, absolutely loved it. But Johnny, let's talk Formula E. We've got 5 minutes. Let's what would you like to say?
One thing I would like to say, like about the track, it reminded me of Portimao, and I hope maybe in future we go to Portimao with the undulations the track had, like ups and downs, somewhat like Portimao has. And Da Costa, man, Da Costa, what a driver!
Yeah,
Da Costa. If we have a race in Portimao, like that also, it will be his official home race.
Yeah, for sure. He called this one kind of his own race because it was so close.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what I want. Like Portimao also to happen, so that he has a proper home race.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by, like, I understand, like Evans wanted to win, but I was surprised why he was so angry with Da Costa for defending. Like it was literally for a win. It was not for like someone was there ahead and he could just like overtake Da Costa, and then suppose Valan was ahead of Da Costa, and then he could snatch the win from him.
Yeah.
But you were fighting for win, then I don't understand why he was mad at Da Costa for defending.
I think it was the team orders, and then he was a bit frustrated in the moment and so forth.
Yeah.
So I think he was just very frustrated. But yeah, because it was a team order to begin with.
Yeah, but they were literally arguing on live TV, like, and I was like surprised. But it shows a little bit of bad rapport for the team.
Yeah.
When you have such kind of things happening live.
Yeah.
But anyways, I understand he was under, like, he had a lot of adrenaline going on, like soon after the race, and like that's fine. But yeah, it was a little bit strange for me to see that.
Yeah, we discussed it a tad earlier in the show, but we don't blame him. Like, I don't blame him for his outburst, not at all, because it's the heat of the moment. But
yeah,
as I said, it was that first sign of him showing, not. I understand that he wants to win, but as I said, it felt like, that was it kind of felt like this is why I'm leaving, right? This is why, I'm not, it kind of felt like that, and that's what I took from it. So now it's kind of like, is he gonna move? Is he gonna be at the new Opel team, for example? Is that where he's gonna end up, and so forth? So a lot of questions around that right now, and that's a separate video that we could talk about. I think, Pico, another day. Is, does he move to Opel if that's the rumor? Is it a good move? ? And we'll pin that for maybe another talking point for another day. But yeah,
but that Jaguar has been his team, like, for so long, and none of the other drivers like stayed over there as long as he has. So I thought he would be more comfortable in that. I think he will be more comfortable in that team. And Jaguar is not doing bad. They are the front runners along with Porsche. They are not like back markers or something for him to like consider moving.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's in terms of right. We've got 3 minutes, so we'll entertain this conversation, Pico, just for a little bit. But Johnny's right. Jaguar are a top team. you'd feel daft to move from there because you'd assume going into Gen 4 that they're going to build a good car. And then this prospect of Opel, right, coming in and maybe Mitch Evans going to Opel, right? But you'd think, why would you do that? Because it's a risk. You know, how much resources have they got? They're a brand new team. You know, are they going to hit the ground running? Are they going to be towards the back? Does he have time? You know, Cassidy's gone to Citroen because he thinks that's his best way of winning a championship. Is Opel for Mitch Evans the best way to win a championship? I'm not sure.
It's certainly an interesting one. Obviously, both are Stellantis, so they're both going to have the same powertrain. But it's going to be an interesting one. But because Opel are a brand new team, sure they will pinch people from different teams.
Potentially, but just to jump in, because you said that they'd have the same powertrain, but they're coming in as a separate manufacturer. So Citroen are a manufacturer, and Opel are a manufacturer, so they have the ability to.
Yes, but they're both Stellantis.
Yeah, I know, but they can have effectively their own powertrain. They can build their own powertrain. They might not technically be the same, even though they're under the same house.
As far as I'm aware, they will be the same.
Okay. Makes sense, but I'm maybe saying that because the way that they spoke in the press conferences, it was a new team, new OEM joining. Yes, it is part of the Stellantis family, but I'm not saying
it's
Opel
the same thing as having Cooper as a Formula E team. It's a badge. It's the same way that DS are the same as Citroen at the moment.
It felt like they were coming in as a new entity and a new OEM.
If so, that would be ridiculously stupid from Stellantis.
If so,
maybe different teams.
Maybe I've misheard that, or I was there and I remember Jeff Dodds outrightly saying, you know, that this was a new team, you know, and they've committed.
The thing is,
it's not saying that they're a customer team.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I don't think they are the customer team. I think if anything is a customer team, it's the Citroen team that will be the customer team. But they will split it very kind of evenly, I think, between the two. But yeah, I think it's in the same way because Maserati, their powertrain was Maserati Tipo Fuoquilore or whatever it is. I butchered that big time, but you get the point. Whereas the Stellantis powertrain in the DS was badged as a DS. That is my understanding of that. So I think it is two separate teams. But I think it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens there, because it will be a completely new outfit, and how long will that take for it to win? Whereas with Citroen, where Cass is at the moment, they were a team that fought for world championships a few years ago with Edo Mortara under the Venturi guys. So if I were to say if Mitch goes to Opel and Nick stays at Citroen, if I were to say who's got the better chance, I'd say Nick Cassidy.
Nick Cassidy, yeah, for sure. And hello, Tag7418 from the admins of the Formula E Addicts. You can join our Discord as if you will. You know, they can get more people for FE Addicts, and you know, come and join our community too by !Discord. I'm sure. I know you're Spanish as well, so I hope that you were at the E-Prix as well and enjoyed it. But yeah, Johnny, just before we wrap up here, any last words?
I had put one question regarding Nick de Vries.
Yep.
He again had a crash with Warline, and I'm a little bit getting frustrated with him right now because he has the pace he has shown in qualifying. He qualified literally second, but then in the race he makes this kind of mistakes and then he spoils his own race. And maybe Warline was very lucky to finish that race, you know, with the back wing broken. So I don't know about. I'm a little bit unsure about Nick de Vries being there, you know, right now.
Yeah. So you're.
I was I had one question, if does he justify his seat over there, or someone might have to go for someone else?
Johnny's asking. Johnny's asking for de Vries to get the can.
I'm not asking. I'm not asking.
Asking him if he's
Like,
if he deserves his seat. Um,
I mean, it's a
but I
valid question. It's a genuinely valid question. Look,
But
I
he's
love Nick de
quick.
Vries. He's one of my favorite people in the paddock. He's so genuinely nice.
yeah,
But we've seen this a lot. I mean, he is so quick. He is one of the quickest drivers on the grid, but he is wildly inconsistent.
Yep.
yeah. But
And
I was
he
one
will
more thing.
and he will make these. Well, look, the incident on Saturday was silly. It was a silly mistake from de Vries, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was just watching back, like his podiums last year, last season also the podiums. In there also there was like a little bit questionable driving of him. Like in London, he was with Roland. I think so. He had an incident in London. He was defending very hard. So this small things are like, and even when he was with Mercedes, I have seen like some of the races his driving is a little bit erratic compared to others. So
Yeah.
I feel like he the best driver for Mahindra to go ahead because Edo is doing very well. He's really consistent. But then if they want to win the constructor this championship, they need both the drivers to be in like top five.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say
Consistently.
it's
So that's
interesting.
the only thing.
If Johnny, if you have you watched, I feel like Johnny need to watch more of our videos. Did you watch the preview of the driver preview videos that we did where we interviewed both Nick de Vries and Eduardo Mortara?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you've
I did
seen
watch.
it. Good lad, good lad.
Yeah.
Because both of them there spoke about, and I spoke to Fred after this because I didn't like what they said, and we're going to end the show on this point.
Yeah.
I didn't like what they said because they were talking about. I said surely the next step. I said to Mortara, surely the next step's now winning. Like get the win, right?
Yeah.
You've been doing the consistency, and they were like, no. Right, it's about being consistent and staying consistent in every race, and I get that. That's important, and Fred also agreed to that, right? When I spoke to him, but I want if I'm Fred, I want my drivers to say, yeah, we're trying to get it. We want to win, right? That's the main aim. You're here to win. You're not here to just finish consistently in the points and pick up podiums. You're there to win races, right? And yeah, I understand that they're downplaying the pressure. I think it was very good media tactics. They're downplaying. And Mortara does well again and finishes in good points. It's just unfortunately for him, Verline is in a higher position, right? But again, it's another top five. But you've at some point you've got to turn that pace that Mahindra have into more podiums and a race win and they talked about the team's championship, right? But they're not going to do anything. They're third and they're miles behind Porsche and Jaguar in third. They might cement third, right? But you're not gaining much in terms of the team's championship at the moment because one driver, is a bit erratic at the moment and luck is not on his side. And Mortara is finishing, but they're not finishing in the high enough places to...
They did get a double podium in... Edo got... was it double podium in Jeddah?
Yeah, it's good.
No.
I'm not complaining about that, but when I say surely the next step though is to now get across the line and come first. You've finished second, you've finished fourth.
100%.
That's the next step. And for them to say no, I was a little concerned by that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. You need to have this killer instinct, if you want to be like
exactly.
a champion. Yeah, so it was a little bit strange from you also listening to that. Like they were very pessimistic about about that because I think Mahindra is also one of the top cars right now. Their package is very good with raw pace. If you see, only thing is they have to and I think so. This race the strategy also was very good of theirs. Only thing the race like Nick's race was like a little bit weird with the crash and all. I think they need to not be that much pessimistic also when they come to approach in media and everything. If you want to be a world champion, and I think they need to have a bit of killer instinct.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And I know drivers like Mortara and de Vries do have that killer instinct, Johnny. But it's just Fred said last year at London that they needed to go away in the off season and learn how to win. Right?
Yes.
We're now round 6 and they've got a good package. They haven't won yet. They've got on the podium. to me, they're still trying to learn how to win, and I think it may come for them at some point. A Mahindra would win this race, but if a Mahindra, with all the pace and all the consistency that they've had so far, does not win a race this season, it will be a great shame. But Johnny, we want to say a massive thank you for coming on and coming back, and absolutely love having you on. And we need our resident Mahindra fan to come on and talk to us. So I'm really glad that you did.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, people.
No worries. Sorry. See you later.
Bye-bye. Take care, bye.
Oh, there we
Right.
go. We did it.
This is the question I'd like to end on.
All right.
Jack,
Go
I'm
on.
going to pitch this to you. So I think we can agree this weekend's race was a really good
Success
event,
story.
just across the board.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic race. The fan interaction was crazy good, like to a point that I haven't seen that in ages.
Yep.
Do you think what Formula E put on this weekend in Madrid is a blueprint that they need to copy for the potential races that we have? Obviously, Zandvoort is being mooted heavily. Brands Hatch is being mooted heavily. Is this what Formula E should be looking at and go, right, copy, paste, moved for these potential races in Gen 4?
That's a tough question. I think that's a yes and no question because it's really difficult to do that. So with Zandvoort, why I think Madrid was successful: one, they've not had a Formula E race in such a long time. Two, Pepe Marti. And there was the obsession around Pepe Marti was huge, right? Screaming from the grandstands. If there's no Spanish driver, do we get the same fan type? Who knows? Right?
Yeah.
Who knows? Right? So you say Zandvoort, you've got Nick de Vries, right? Whose contract is up, by the way, at the end of the season with Mahindra, but let's assume that gets extended, right? You did then hope that do the Dutch fans, do they care about Nick de Vries that much? I assume they do, right? It's not going to be Max Verstappen levels, right? But there might be enough in there to get there, and then you've got a good place to put the podium. Where would you put the podium? Are you going to use the normal podium on the start-finish straight, or are you going to make your own podium? Because that was something else that they did. They made their own podium in the turn between turn 3 and turn 4, which they didn't have to do. They could have just used the terrible podium or put a podium. I don't know, but they did a good job with that, I think, Formula E. So it's the logistics of where can they put the podium if they go to a place like Zandvoort and other tracks. Brands Hatch, like where they're going to put the podium at Brands Hatch. Is it going to be on the start finish straight? Are they going to put it somewhere else if we do go to Brands Hatch, for example, in London, in the UK? So I think it's more about circuit logistics, and if they can do something, I honestly think having a home hero and a home favourite helped massively. And I don't think there's a track in every track that we go to that there is a home favourite. Even in the UK, like we have many British drivers, but the atmosphere in Madrid from Pepe Marti was far better than, because the allegiances are all, some are Dennis fan like Chris, some might be a Barnard fan, some might be. So your allegiances are, whereas everybody was going for Marti, right? And I think that was the difference that made it so good. And I also think the track's really good, right? And I think everyone...
But I reckon Zandvoort for Formula E and Brands Hatch for Formula E would also be crazy good.
Yeah, we're not saying that it wouldn't be, right? But I just think, I don't know. I walked away from Harama and I couldn't wait to go back. Bit like with Monaco, can't wait to go back, right? I like Berlin, but I suppose what Berlin, as much as I'm a big advocate for Berlin staying, because the track changes, right, so often, it doesn't feel like it has character, right? It doesn't feel like it has a soul, right? Because you're getting used to these tracks, and we got a little bit of, I would say, the soul of it with, because I really liked the old Gen 2 layout. Thought that layout was really good, and we had it consistently for a couple of years, and then it changed to this layout, and this layout, I must admit, I think it's one of the worst layouts.
It's awful. It's awful.
It's shorter than the Gen 2 layout. It was just, it created these horrible pack races, and the old Gen 2 layout was brilliant. Like, it was brilliant, the Gen 2 layout. And that Gen 2 layout would have worked perfectly for Gen 3. Like, and
it did for the first year, and then they changed it.
They changed it. And it's just like, I don't know why they did that. But because Harama, I think the circuit played a huge part in it, because we all got sucked in. I think we all got sucked in to its character, its old-fashionedness. It had yellow and black curbs. It was different, right? Like, it was different, and it was just special. It was just, I can't describe it. Like, it's so hard. Whereas I go to Zandvoort, but I think it's because it was also, apart from maybe Spanish fans, and maybe not even Spanish fans, because, what races at Harama? Not much, right? So what's taking you there? So maybe even for the Spanish fans, like, but when you're there, I just felt it was, it brought a really huge smile to my face, and I loved it. And I think replicating that other tracks is going to be hard, because I think you need a track that has character. And my mind has changed. I said in that video, I said about Barcelona, but now I've gone here, I'm like, this should become the home of Formula E in Spain. Like, this, it's our track. It's not nothing. It's got Formula 1 raced there 50 years ago. Right?
Do you know which other Formula 1 track raced there 50 years ago? Brands Hatch.
So we could make it ours. The problem I have with Brands Hatch is I think it's too far from London, whereas this isn't.
It's the same distance.
Nah.
It's the same distance.
It's miles away from airports. Maybe Gatwick is not too far, but
yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's a bit of a distance to an airport.
It's a distance to an airport. It's
probably about
not a great. It's
half an hour, 45 minutes from Gatwick.
It's not a great drive on the M25. It's quite a long way round the M25 to get to Swanley, right? Pretty much. I've done that drive before, right? Because I used to get my car serviced in Swanley, right? So I would drive from mine. It would take me an hour, right, to go round the M25 to get to Swanley, pretty much, which is the same junction as the Brands Hatch, right? And also it's near Buckmore Park as well, isn't it? But I think it's not far from
at the same time, what are the other options for the UK?
For me, honestly, for London,
I go Donny.
No, for you go back to London. You have to keep it in London. And
but there isn't anywhere in London.
The Olympic Park. The Olympic Park.
The roads aren't wide enough.
If Formula 1 were going to race there, it's wide enough for Formula E. The roads are wide enough. I've spent enough time.
Formula 1 aren't going to race there, though.
Formula 1 were going to buy the Olympic Park out, and we went to West Ham.
Yeah, but then
it was going to be turned into an F1 track.
Yeah, but then they would have had to do all the renovations for it to work.
The roads are wide enough. Trust me on it.
Yeah, but they are wide enough, but all the way down the middle, they've got about a metre long parts in the middle where people stop halfway between the roads, which all of them would have to be taken out.
It would work. I honestly think that's the best place. I honestly think I look, I haven't done much, but I just think for London, those roads around West Ham Stadium are empty, right? Empty. And
I mean, I completely agree about the location.
Right.
Mega location.
right,
But
that is empty, and I just think you do it in the Formula Football off season in June, right? That race could be, and yeah, June, right? Potentially that race could be June. Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
have to be June, right? You do it in June, and football season's finished, June or early July, right? And that could be a festival for motorsport fans in the UK, because if you would have the Formula E on one weekend and the F1 on the next weekend, or F1 first and FE after on the subsequent weekends, that could also be something that could happen. For me, you got to try and make that happen if you want to race in London. And the fact that Formula One scouted out and were confident enough to put in a bid to try and get it, and they had something lined up that they wanted to do. I know Formula E don't have the same money, but F1 back then it was rich, but it's richer now than it was back then, for sure.
yeah.
I feel like there's a way that it can be done. I know we're going well over time here, but
Yeah.
Great question, but for it to be a blueprint, I think it's tough. But honestly, that could become an iconic track for Formula E. That, when I talk about history, and I talk about history a lot, like Harama could become one of the Spa type tracks. I'm giving it, that sounds like a lot of praise, but because it's such a roller coaster of a ride and the track layout is so cool, that could become easily could turn into one of Formula E's one of the more important races, and I hope it's on the calendar now for years and years and years to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll end on that. Don't think many drivers are travelling to Gatwick. Make it happen in London.
True.
What about Scotland or Wales? Why aren't there any circuits that could work for Formula E?
Edinburgh's too narrow, I know that.
Yeah. And plus, do people want to...
That's the thing. The UK streets in general are so narrow compared to Europe and USA and all these locations. So it's a little bit more of a headache over here.
But it's mad to even suggest this. But if Formula E really wanted to find a race in London, can they find a plot of land that they can buy and build their own track? Like, I don't even know if that's possible, but like I don't even know how expensive that would be, but like, and that's a lot to just to say you're in London, but like, you have to be in the UK somewhere. Let's see if Brands Hatch works. But the problem, we've had so many Brands Hatch. They said the facilities weren't good enough. Sorry, the facilities,
which I think is not on, considering that. We run out of tents in Berlin.
Yeah. So
how is Brands Hatch not good enough?
But I think they were talking about more, not of the pit buildings, but more of the hospitalities type areas. But I think that's what they were more concerned about, was hospitality more than how we race. But
again, they stick up a bunch of tents in Berlin.
Yeah, but I don't know. We have to see how Brands Hatch works, if it is Brands Hatch that we think that we're going to. But then they said if we go, then Jeff contradicts himself. Like, well, they both contradict themselves. Alberto's like, we could go there for a short period of time to scout out our true home in London that we want. And Jeff Dodds is like, no, if we go to this place in Gen 4, this will be our home. So it doesn't help that they're not.
I think it's 6 to 1 half dozen of the other. I don't think anything's like off the cards. Like, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Well, also, TSG, just to answer your question, and then we'll go. I want to get, just because one report says it could happen in July doesn't mean it's going to happen in July. Right? Yeah. Just because one report says, and I know it's from Sam Smith potentially, and I know Sam Smith gets a lot of it right, but and yeah, we share your sentiments. This is what we thought as well. But it doesn't mean it's true. It might have been an option. He might have found out that they're considering, where can we squeeze this in, or maybe we can only squeeze this in July, right, as a last resort. Maybe that's the last resort type thing on the calendar. It might not be where it actually goes. So
I
it's
mean,
just,
Valencia Formula One was held in June, July,
Yeah.
and I think in August. It started out in. MotoGP go to Aragon, or they either do Aragon or Barcelona in mid-June, and so yeah, I think they're doing Aragon again this year. Then they're going Barcelona because it needs to fit with Formula One, but yeah, so
but
yeah, it will it be hot? Yes, but look,
yeah, as I said,
we
you
go to
can't-
Jakarta.
you
It
can't
can't
just-
be much worse.
You can't just take one source at this precise moment, and hopefully we'll have another show in the
We're going
coming
to
weeks.
Tokyo in July,
Yep,
so and I know that it's a night race, but they're still going to go out for qualify. No, they're still going to go out for practice at about 1:30,
So it'll still
which
be
will
hot.
be about the air temperature. And my sister went to Tokyo a few years ago in July, August time, and it was about 36 degrees. So it's going to be so hot. Yeah.
I'm gonna die. If I go.
Yeah, you will. You will.
We will. And on that bombshell, well, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, TGS Force 81, just in case you found us today, hit that subscribe button. It means the world, and it's great that you're in the Discord as well. You can also buy our book. I'm just advertising everything that we do to you right now. We have a book, yeah, there it is. I'm literally here. You can stat track and everything that it needs for Formula E. Look, that was one of my races that I haven't completed. It's probably Jeddah. It is Jeddah. I haven't even finished, but I'll use my holidays. Yep, and hopefully we'll be on before Berlin. We'll see what we can do, but there are lots of exciting things that will be happening around Formula E Zone in April that we're looking forward to. So hopefully we'll share them with you all soon. But thank you so much for watching, and we will see you. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you very much. And work from St. Lucia as well. Get in the Discord as well. The more the merrier. Come and join our amazing family. Our friend from St. Lucia. But on that note, it's time to end. Good night.